We have a sign, Mind da Yap. It's on air. We are the people of the train that speak.
We're on the overground. We're on Mildmay line, by the way. You know?
Okay, I'm glad you said that.
No
one knows
Isn't
what
it
that is yet.
Mildmay line?
Mildmay. But what do you...
I thought it was Milady at first.
Yeah, you're an idiot.
That's it'd be a very English line though, wouldn't it?
Yeah.
It'd be called
One of the
Milady
Milady
line.
line.
But did you guys discuss this? Did you talk about this? The changing of the names?
No.
It's too controversial for real.
Too controversial. Is even that too controversial?
No, I don't know what the names are though. I've seen Milady.
Well, there's
What's the other
Mildmay, there's
one?
Windrush. I guess you might find Windrush a bit controversial.
Okay, what's the others?
Suffragette, the Suffragette line.
Yeah.
I don't know, there's a bunch of lines, but you know, a lot of people are upset.
Why are you looking at me?
I just don't know if you're upset.
What would you call the lines if you had the top three? What would you call the lines? What ideas would you have come up with?
Oh my gosh.
What would I call the line? I would just keep it very simple. You know, I'd be like, the Stratford line. I would call this the Stratford line. You know.
But this train goes to Stratford and West Croydon and
The Croydon Stratford line.
That is so whack.
Yeah, that is pretty whack.
You reckon? That's really whack. I would go colour based. Red line, blue line, yellow line. Come on! So much easier to remember.
Yeah, but we've already got the central
And
line.
if you're new to the country, it's so much easier to establish. Just colours, names of colours.
Yeah, but I think at the point now we've already got all these names with all the lines.
Wait, you wanted
know,
to call it Stratford?
Yeah, I don't know what I'm talking about. You know, I'm just trying to yap. You
Established.
know? I'm just trying to establish my yap. You know.
yeah, colours are boring, man. We've already had colours for like the last 100 years, so we might as well
Okay.
change it up. Call it like the Morpheus line or something.
The Morpheus. Line.
Yeah, that'd be sick. You couldn't forget that though. You know what I
What
mean?
does that have to do with
Maybe.
anything in London?
We would make. Well, it had nothing to do with it. Nothing. It has absolutely nothing to do with anything in London. Yeah.
Well, what if like the most popular films in the world, you just name the lines after those? Like the classics, like the Shawshank line.
The redemption line.
The Godfather line.
The Godfather line.
Yes.
Yeah, that works.
That's. You know what? These things would be way more memorable in your head because you know how people forget which lines are supposed to go on, especially if you're foreign and you just said,
Yeah.
oh, like you got to catch the Morpheus line to.
That already sounds confusing.
Sounds
Honestly.
sick.
Yeah, it sounds sick, but I don't know where I'm going.
But it doesn't really make sense in London. I feel like if they were to develop the like network in Los Angeles, so that would be the idea that I would
Mate,
go for.
if you said to someone, I'm trying to find the Morpheus line, they would probably send you to a pharmacy. Honestly, it's too complicated, I think.
What if it was called the?
It does sound cool though. It does sound cool. Just call it Mind da Yap. Get on the Mind da Yap line. Obviously, I'm joking. Why are you
One
taking
day
it as if
they
that
shall
would be
do
serious?
that.
Look, he's trying to take it as if it'd be serious.
So what
In honour of me,
what
Mind da
exactly
Yap line.
is Mind da Yap?
This is a place where people can join in a conversation and feel like they're part of the conversation and make their journey a little bit more exciting, you know, because oftentimes people are just trying to get from A to B, and sometimes.
Oh, I think you got your first person over there giving the eyes. No.
Nope.
She's like, nope.
Absolutely not.
Yeah, it's the vibe I'm trying to have is that, you know, between us guys, we're just having a conversation or yapping away on the train, and if other people would feel like they've got something to chime in with, then feel free.
To this line. How do you deal with this, by the way? Do we just speak over him?
No, what did he say?
No.
Just yapping me.
No podcasts allowed on the overground.
Honestly, like that.
I know,
That's almost what I heard.
It
in my
was
head.
almost an odd timing for an announcement, wasn't it? So,
What would you do if
Shelley, can I ask you, are you going to speak about anything?
Just a reminder to everyone, please do not encourage, reward or support any
Podcast.
antisocial behaviour.
Yeah, I disagree. I think that's an absolute shambles. I'm sorry, you know, why not? If someone's coming here asking for money, they obviously need it for a reason. It's not like you're encouraging something terrible, you know?
You are though. You are. I've always been heavily against it because, right, when you live around a lot of homeless people as well, there's a big homeless population where I live, right, and the thing is, when you think you're going to be compassionate to homeless people, it actually makes it feels like it's got a lot worse. Like I was going to say this actually, you know, it's in the last 10 years, homelessness has got pretty crazy out of hand. And then the moment I knew when it was getting out of hand was when I went to Barclays in Camden, and they were literally sprawled out in front of the entrance, where you had to literally hop over them, because people got. It feels like when you don't say enough is enough, they kind of keep on pushing it. So like, I'm not in favour really of encouraging that behaviour. I'm not by any means.
But when you say encouraging that behaviour, what do you mean? Like encouraging?
What he's saying is by giving money.
Right.
But I mean, what harm are you causing though? Like they're talking about on the train right now. What harm would you be causing if you were to give someone some money on the train?
Because they're definitely going to spend it on drugs.
But they're not.
So,
you know, like it's obviously case by case basis. You know, you don't know that.
Yeah.
Everyone's
No. Most likely, right? They're gonna go and spend it on drugs. And people on drugs. That's the thing. But the thing
The
is,
most cynical man on the planet.
let me tell you something, right?
Tell us something, Shells.
Let me tell you why it's so detrimental. Because drugs make people act crazy, right? And that's why people act out and do stuff a lot of the time. It's because of either drugs or alcohol, right? Now, you wouldn't just give someone a can of beer usually like on the way to work, would you? Because you know that they got to go and do some like stuff, right? They got to operate in an office or something, right? But you can't be. If you give money to a guy like who's down and out like that, and he's on drugs, like you haven't seen the way these guys operate, like.
Yeah, but have you not heard about the benefit of the doubt? Like you don't know that for a fact.
Come
like,
on, bro. Come
nah,
on.
like. Yeah.
But the thing is, I think you can tell. Like,
You must not live around homeless people, bro. I'm feeling that you lot are living in Fresh Prince in Bel Air or something. Like.
where I live, there's lots of homeless people, and I think like realistically in London, this is impossible to avoid. You know, and I say it's a case.
It's all over central London as well, though.
Yeah,
You know,
it's
so
one of the biggest populations in the UK.
Yeah.
But I would say it's a case by case basis, and you can use your own judgment whether this person is sincere or not. You know, but you just seem to think everyone is on drugs.
There is no way you'd be asking someone for money, right? Unless you were on something, right? There is.
I'm sorry. What?
That is the way it works.
They're asking for money because they don't have a home.
No, they do. That's the thing. The crazy part is that a lot of them do.
A lot of them do, for
A lot
sure.
of them are in hostels.
That's not.
Yeah, but Shelley, you also have to remember, like, a lot of the reasons they give, like, is like, okay, I'm trying to make £10 so I can stay in a hostel. You know, because remember, like at some point, their money's gonna run
That's
out.
not real. You really believe that?
But yo,
no, man, you lot are either naive or you're playing like you're playing dumb right now. Come on, you lot have lived in London like your entire lives, right? Yeah, you can't really think that they're spending £10. The money they're giving you is for a hostel. You gotta be out of your damn mind if you think that's the case.
It's individual.
I would say you're out of your mind, to be honest with you, Shells.
Yeah, because the thing is, we're saying case by case. You're saying everyone, so you should just treat everyone like that because you think that's like the general consensus. But it kind of has to be an individual case by case situation, really, doesn't it?
Is that alright? When you go to a club, yeah, and the security's there and he pats you down. Do you think the next person he should be like, I shouldn't pat the next guy down on a, or do you think he should pat everyone down the same as before they get into the house?
Same.
So that's the rule I apply. Like
Yeah, but
you got to treat all of them with the same. But like you're being. I think it's actually you're being irresponsible by giving someone who's on drugs and homeless and asking you for money because that's not
but
responsible.
you said a key word there.
Oh my
You said
God.
someone that's on drugs and asking you for money.
Yeah.
They're not like, oh, can I have some money so I can go buy some drugs? That's not the situation.
If they told you I'm gonna go use this for drugs, would you give them money?
Of course not.
No.
Exactly. So what? That's literally that's the story. Isn't it obvious?
It's not the story.
How is that the story?
That is actually the story, bro.
That's your story.
That's your story.
That's your story. You can write the book on that if you want, mate. But that is not true. That is not true. How can you say that for everyone, though? That's all I'm querying. Like, how can you say that for everyone?
How can you not? How can you not?
I feel like you've probably never spoken to a homeless person.
He's around it a lot because
That's it. Okay. No,
Because
no.
because there's such, you can very much tell if if you actually speak to people individually, you can tell, okay, this person is clearly on drugs, this person is clearly gonna be using this for drugs, and this person is very clearly sincere. If you can read people, you can tell when someone is sincere or not.
No, you can't. You
calling
don't
me a
know these
dumper?
people. You don't know these people. You don't know what they're capable
no,
of.
I agree with him on that actually. No, I'm just saying the way you phrased it, like I don't really think you can always judge like who's sincere or who's not. I think it has to come from like your own kind of just your own morals, like in that moment, just how you feel in that moment. I don't think you can actually definitively say like this person's sincere and this person isn't, you know?
Yeah, definitively you can't, but like,
Because someone could show signs of something. It could be an illness, it could be anything. Do you know what I mean? You can't always assume that it's going to be drugs if they're just acting slightly out of what you normally expect a person to be doing.
Listen, normal people do not ask other people in public for money. Like on a train,
what do you
you
mean
don't
normal
do
people?
that unless
Okay,
you're
okay,
unless
question.
you're suffering some kind of like
Question.
some mental. There's some mental deficiency.
Question, Shelly. What about people? Okay, let's say because apparently in Shelly's world, there's no homeless people that aren't actually on drugs. But surely there's got to be some people who are actually homeless, right? So what are they doing?
Those people, if they're really genuinely homeless, they're not asking people for money. Those are the types of people you'll see sleeping on benches, like and not bothering people because they've got a genuine. I know mentally ill people. I know probably way too many. Yeah. I also live directly in contact with people who are genuinely like on something. They're on drugs, right? And if you see the way these people. The way these people live and the way they act, yeah, like you wouldn't want to fund someone like who behaves in that way. Like, so what you lot are saying is actually some utopian nonsense, right? Where a guy just happens to be walking through the train asking for money and like, you know, he's sweating like this shit and he's like this and he's like, oh, like I just need something for the hustle, and you're trying to tell me that guy is just a nice dude and he just wants someone
I'm telling you
that is most times 9 times out of 10 that is absolute bollocks. Like that's the reality.
Nah, no one's saying that. I'm just saying that potentially your experience in your town, where it is that you live, like it sounds like you had like quite intense experiences in that field. And I just wonder if it's like created a more like wider world view for you, where like you're like, okay, everyone should think like this, you know, no one should trust a homeless person asking them for money, you know. Because you're telling me that 100% of those cases where a homeless person is asking you for money is for drugs.
Yes, bro. How can you be so naive? How can you be willingly? No, like how can you be willingly so naive? Like,
No, I would say how can you be willingly so so hard and fast that everyone? Like, I'm not saying maybe you could even say a majority of them are doing that, but to say that 100% is insane.
Yeah, that's wild.
That's insane,
That's
dude.
wild. That's wild.
the guy outside the cash machine, unfortunately, he's not just asking. He's not there by accident. He's not asking you for notes from the cash machine by accident.
Yeah. But what does that have to do with the drug element?
It's all thought about. It's all calculated. I'm telling you, this is not. It's an operation. These guys, they live in hostels and they come out. They come out every day. They go to the. I know people.
Yeah, but yo,
I genuinely know people who've lived around them in hostels. Like they literally live in a hostel. They'll go to a cash machine and they'll sit outside the cash machine. They'll earn. I don't know, whatever they earn, and they'll go back to the hostel. Now they're supposed to be under some rules where they're not supposed to take drugs, but these guys are I mean, when you're on drugs, you're not thinking straight.
Yeah, but dude, living in a hostel, like they're not. No one lives in a hostel. Firstly, they're homeless people that are going to a hostel because that's the only place you can go to stay for the night. What do you
have clearly got you have no experience with this at all.
You have no experience.
You
have zero experience.
I actually do though.
No,
I have direct. I know. Like I said, I know personally
I know people.
You know people that live in a hostel.
Yeah, I know everyone that lives in a hostel.
What hostel do you think I'm talking about, by the way? We're not talking about when you go to bloody.
Every single person.
But we're not talking about when you go to Amsterdam or something. When we're talking about a hostel, I'm talking about like a halfway house.
Shelly, can I ask you a question? All right. What about, because you talked about the ATM, right? Homeless people sitting outside the ATM asking for money.
Yeah.
What about the homeless people that sit outside a a Pret or a Costa or somewhere like that and asks you for, can you get me a sandwich? Can you get me a bottle of water? Can you get me a coffee when they're walking out? What about that?
The Pret is just drugs, mate. It's just drugs.
Drugs! Drugs,
Still,
man!
excuse me, you know, they're asking you for a water or a sandwich or something like that.
The water is just because of the Mandy, you know.
But
They need to-
there's guys that will like, oh my gosh, man. Alright. Have you ever been to like a cash converters, bruv? Have you been to a cash converters?
Yeah.
I want to open this whole thing wide open for you, in case, because you clearly have no experience.
When we were in
with shit.
Budapest, we went to cash converters, didn't we?
No, we didn't.
Didn't we?
Do you know what a cash converters is?
Converting cash?
Bureau de change.
This is like speaking to two
Changing pounds to
yuppies from private schools,
Cash
man.
converters.
This can be
oh,
so.
wait. Cash converters, is that giving something and then getting it on hold or something like that?
Oh my god.
No?
This is what's gonna get you cancelled.
I don't know what it is. What is it?
Bruv, cash converters is a place where you can give your electronics.
That's just what I
bikes and
said.
stuff.
You give something, you put it on hold, and they give you cash for it.
They give you cash for it, right?
Yeah.
Now, the reality is the only people that give their money, give their items into that place is when you're really, really desperate. And guess who's the people who they're probably their biggest customer that goes there the most often?
You, because you gave your laptop to
I
them.
did at one point. I did. And that's the thing. I gave it one time, and I'm gonna try and hot myself for that. But you, you fully hotted me up. But yeah, I went to that cash converters, and that was the last time I told myself that was the first and the last time I'm ever gonna do that. Because one, actually, you know what? I'll put it out there. Yeah, from now you've done it. Yeah, like I had a laptop, and I obviously didn't want to part with that shit, but I got myself so in the hole with gambling that it was a real last resort. And you know, I went there with a laptop and they offered like 120 quid or something. I thought, oh my god, 120 quid for a laptop that costs like £1,500. Now,
How old was the laptop though? Because you know how it is. Like,
but
you know how it is.
we're talking like 2-3 years old. But
Was it a
for
Mac?
a laptop, it was a Mac laptop.
Bloody hell.
Yeah. So you can imagine the types of people that would sell their last dime for 150, 120 pounds. Like that's when you know. Like when I was there and when that guy offered me that amount of money, that's when I kind of realised like, yo, like 120 pounds for a laptop is absolutely pittance. But that's what, if you're on drugs, you'll do that. You'll sell that shit. And that's most of the people that go there are selling shit that is like, you know. They're selling it for their last time. Yeah, man. How you doing, bro? Yeah.
Nice.
Yeah. What you want to do? So yeah, you have to be in them places, yeah, and to understand the mindset of some of these drug addicts, man. Like what you're talking about is about.
But what does this whole story have to do with anything?
What?
Like with what we're talking about? Like what does the cash converters thing have to do with, for example, the man outside Pret asking you for a sandwich?
I'm talking about the mindset of a drug
here we
dealer.
go.
The drug dealer.
Mindset.
Now, you think that sandwich, yeah?
okay.
I won't even put it past the guy who's to sell that
You think
sandwich.
he's going to take that to
Or
cash converters?
If he could, he would. He would exchange that sandwich for a pound.
Shelly,
If someone, I'm telling you, one of his other mates might give him the fucking exchange.
You are cooked,
But
mate.
I've seen them walk in Pret Camden, walk in, grab shit, walk out. And they'll do that like it's nothing. Like I don't think those guys are hungry. I think them guys are either exchanging it with their mates for something. Like they use it as an exchange rate. Like you don't understand the mentality of these people, man.
I don't understand the mentality of you, to be honest with you.
The thing is, I just don't get how you can say everyone. Do you know what I mean? You're so confident on everyone. I don't think that's true. Maybe you could say majority. I don't know, but I just think it's like damn man, it's a bleak look on society for sure. You know.
First of all, shut the fuck up with that shit. I know you don't believe this shit. I know you don't. If there was a homeless person walking through here right now, for the camera, you might give your money. But if there's no cameras, you wouldn't give shit. You would look the other way. So don't try to act like you like what I'm saying is not even true in the slightest.
No, but like I said, it's a case-by-case situation, you know. Like, so the thing is, sometimes like a homeless person will come up to you and like basically like will just tell their story, you know. And I think that sometimes in a way is a bit more well, it's more personalized, isn't it? You know, and I'm almost like, you can't really. Of course, you can make it up, but it's like there is something genuine about it, and you just have to use your intuition on that.
When's the last time you gave money?
Sorry?
When's the last time? Now I'm trying to think. Here we go. Give me some time to think. Yeah. When's the last time you gave money to a homeless person?
Last week.
Lies.
It's not a lie.
That's lies.
It's not a lie. It was actually on a train. It was on a train. On a train, yeah. I'm not lying.
Overground? What was it? Underground? What was it?
It was the overground.
You're so full of shit, man. Oh my god.
The Milady line.
It's on the Morpheus line, was it?
No, but that is actually the truth. That is actually the truth. It was just a couple of pounds, but that, yeah. That's
couple of pounds?
The change that I had on me, yeah.
Was it man or
I'm
woman?
honestly telling you the truth.
Man or woman?
Man.
What was the story? What made you give it?
He was walking down here and no one was giving, and I can't remember exactly what he said. He said something about, I think it was just in regards to food, and he was just walking down here, no one was giving, and I had some pounds on me and I gave it. Why are you looking at it? This guy.
Despicable. He'll say anything. He'll say anything to make him sound good.
But
Okay.
what's the point that you're trying to make?
You'll do anything to make me sound bad.
But from the question that you asked him, what was the point that you wanted to make?
He's trying to. Okay, you can answer.
What we say we're gonna do versus what we actually do.
I do agree with you though, in that respect. Like, there's been times when I haven't given anything, you know, and there's been times when I have, you know. But it's dependent on the situation. It's dependent on if you have cash on you. It's dependent on a lot of things. But that's what we're talking about. Is like like how genuine these stories are. And I don't doubt for a second that a lot of them are kind of related to drugs in a way. But I definitely can't say that they all are. And I do sense sincerity in a lot of the stories that I hear sometimes. Because sometimes I just come up to you while eating dinner, whatever you're doing, and just tell you the whole thing.
There is a myth, yeah, that poor people ask for money, right? Poor people don't ask. That is literally usually the last thing a poor person wants to do, because it's actually it's usually about pride, right? They want to get themselves out of the situation. They want to, feel like a human being. When you hit the drug level, what drugs do to you is that it takes all your sense of self is ripped from you. You start to not have shame anymore. And then that last step is when you go and ask people for money, right? That's what I'm saying. That the steps that get you to asking for money, it cannot come from someone who just needs money, like for something genuine. The steps that get you there on the train in the first place, in order to ask for money, is gonna have to be drugs. Drugs puts you into that state.
Not only drugs. Some people get kicked out the house. Some people get evicted. Like, there's
but they don't ask for money. No, but they don't ask for money.
No. But sometimes the thing is, sometimes drugs is not the original cause of homelessness. That's not the root all the time. Like, sometimes it can be depression. You get kicked out the house. You get evicted. Anything could happen, and then because of that depression, you suffer from being homeless. Now you turn to drugs because it's an escape. And just like many people, by the way, that average Joe that's got like loads of money in his pocket does drugs as well. You know,
does cocaine, does alcohol, but heroin's the last stop. The heroin's the one that's the one you usually can't come back from.
Like, think about it, right? Just think about it for a second, right? Like, a lot of them are doing it because they need something to deal with the fact that they are homeless and their life is like nowhere near where they want it to be. Some people do it recreationally for fun. Do you judge them in the same way?
No, well, the thing with drugs, if you're doing it recreationally, yeah, and it doesn't end you up homeless or
their
not
life
paying
is
your rent.
already messed up though, and they're using now because of like the situation they're in, but it's not always the original route. Think about it. You become homeless, you start to mingle with like more people that are like sleeping rough and stuff like that. Someone's going to introduce you to something like, can you blame them for that? You know, it's like, I don't know.
I've never really understood it personally, because
I can tell.
From literally day dot, there is this propaganda that is pushed, right? Or I'll say propaganda, but it's education in school. It literally says don't do drug kids, don't do drugs kids. Like that's the slogan.
And no one listens.
Yeah, but I think the way you can be brainwashed from such an early age. I don't get how you get from there to when the opportunity arises, someone goes, yeah, go on, take some. This will take the edge of shit, and then you know what I mean. Like I can understand that with smoking weed because it's just a path or something, or I can understand it with someone offers you a line, or you know what I mean, or like a bit of alcohol. But the drug thing, you pump that shit into your veins. Come on, that's a big step. Like you got to put that needle into your arm, right? Then you just pass out. Like that's a big step. I always thought like, how do you get there, bro? Like, do you know what I mean?
Well, we not name any names, of course, but we know someone very normal, just like us, a normal person who ended up doing heroin, and I think it was. Would you remember what the reasons were? Like he was a student, a normal person, not homeless, nothing, but he ended up doing heroin, and he would do it recreationally, like you know, some people would smoke weed, he would do heroin. You know?
How do you know that though?
What do you mean?
How do you know that it was just for fun?
As opposed to
like dealing with something mentally.
True. That's true.
Because I actually think when you really think about that and you think about him, quite a quiet guy. There was a bit of a mystery about him. Didn't really express his feelings. Like probably going through something as well. Do you know what I mean? So I don't know if recreational is the right word.
To be honest, I do think that's kind of probably the main reason why people turn to any form of drugs is like there's something lacking.
Yeah.
You know,
yeah,
and it's it's a search for an escape essentially.
Yeah,
you know?
100%.
Yeah, and I think I don't know, man. I think like it's a massive problem in London, man. I think like it's just like I said before, like, it's got way worse like last 10 years, and I'm not here to encourage it at all. No way, man.
Why do you think it's gotten so worse in the last 10 years?
It's never one thing. It's a number of things. People might just jump straight to the fact that it's the government, and you know that we maybe had a shitty government which is not funding certain things that would allow for circumstances to happen where people end up being on drugs. That's one of those things. But I think there's been a little bit of a shift. You see how, I don't know about if you've ever witnessed this. I know in the high grounds of Hampstead and and behind your massive golden gates. Like, I know you lot don't experience much, but but there was I've witnessed a couple times.
Yeah, Race, do you ever leave that gated community of yours? I'm shocked you're here, to be honest.
But I've noticed
say hi to racist security over there as well. You alright? Don't worry, he's fine.
I've noticed the amount of people, homeless people, usually crackheads, coming into like Sainsbury's local, just robbing it brazenly. Like there's not even any consequences for it now, because it's got to a point where the security guards that are there, they're not paid enough, or they're on agency and they don't give a shit, and they know there's insurance, so there's that. And then the homeless people, they know that they can't be touched because someone puts their hands on them. They can also like file some kind of suit, so there's that going on. Things like, it's a bit different than I think maybe 20 years back. Like people didn't think that in this way, and now like you know, like the general culture of being like a homeless crackhead, like it's been allowed to thrive, I think, in the last 10 years. So, and people are not putting their foot down as well. I think that happens with many cultures that are out of control. As in,
but also, like, if you are homeless, like, I get that, like, better measures can be put in place to help them, but how do you just, like, more people, as time goes on, more people become homeless, prices go up, like, things get tough for people, they end up on the street, like, what are you supposed to do? Do you know what I mean? Like, because you're talking about leniency there, aren't you? Like, it's allowed to flourish, but like, you don't just like put someone in jail because they're homeless. Do you know what I mean?
lot of homeless people are the ones that end up in jail.
But they also want to sometimes as well
Yeah.
because it's like a roof over their head for a bit, you know? It's like I think better measures need to be put in place. Like right now I feel like there's like no like government solution on homelessness, if you know what I mean, like anything solid or concrete, you know? And it's not even a blame thing, it's like there just isn't like a strategy. Like you hear these like don't encourage begging, like everywhere you go, like it's just like, well, okay, what's happening then, you know? Like I don't know, it's just yeah, I don't know.
I think the other guy was filming. Well, there's a reason why they say don't encourage begging on the thing, because something needed to be done in some kind of way. Like someone needed to say something. It was like
Yeah, but someone
what I mean?
also needs to say something about the solution. Like
the solution's not easy.
'Cause like
don't
you
get me
said-
wrong. As much as I'm complaining about homelessness and how it's
Yeah.
got worse, boy, I definitely ain't got the answers. Like, but listen, there are people that are paid thousands of pounds that are sitting in the House of Parliament that are supposed to have solutions. They come together. This is what their job is. Like, they're supposed to come up with this kind of stuff. And you know, like it's not an easy.
that's the thing. It's not
crack.
easy. It's not easy to crack. It's like
It's not
By the way,
easy.
it's like a worldwide thing as well. Yeah.
Yeah, of course. It's not easy, but I feel like this dude announcing, like, it's basically just a sticker over it, you know, a plaster over it. It's not actually like, I see what you're saying, like something has to be done, right? But this is not, as you said, it's not addressing the actual root problem of why people even get into this situation. Because the thing is, you can say, oh, don't encourage on the overground, but they're still gonna go outside, and the same thing is gonna happen. So
Yeah, but an overground, like, do you want some guy? Would you want that? Do you really want someone coming up to you while you're sitting on a train and asking you for money? Like, no, you don't. You don't want to be trapped like that. No way. Yeah, you can ask for it outside, but like, no, you don't. You definitely don't want to. They shouldn't be having someone walking through the carriage just asking for money, and it's just, it's not a good look, man.
for who?
It's not a good look for London. It's not a look, and it's not. You know what I mean? No, but it's in like.
You came out seek and destroy today, didn't you? Oh my gosh.
The next station
No, I get what you're saying, but I mean, you have to just consider the fairness of it. Like all these limitations you put on homeless people without a solution, it's like, can you really like blame someone walking through asking for money? I get what you're saying, but I don't think.
Let's just say I'm interested. Hypothetically, let's say, you know, someone robs all your podcast equipment.
Will you
know.
stop putting that shit out there, putting the idea into people's minds, man? Fucking hell.
But let's just say someone robs all your podcast equipment. They take all your gambling money.
It's because his phone's not being used to record. He's so confident. He's like, yeah, what if someone steals your stuff?
You know, basically they take all your stuff. You know, you get evicted from your house, and boom, Shelley McDo is homeless. Well, walk me through like what you do.
What I would do?
Yeah, Shelley McDo.
Well, that's quite a good question. So, first thing I would do is explore my options, and that means friends, family, right? To get some kind of money, get some place to stay, or get ask them for something, some kind of loan. If that is not in an option, right? What do I do next? I'll find something, like, you know, like in London as well, of all places, right? You can be like,
Oh, will you now?
yeah, like you can come up with something, like you can literally start busking, yeah, with and some people will drop money like that. Like you can do that, or my very last option. Now, like this is where I'll have to be real. What I'll probably do, I'll be smart about it. I'll probably just go. I'll probably just rob a phone store, like.
He's the one that was just complaining about people stealing from Sainsbury's. And now he's like, I'm just wrong.
But that's a one-time affair. I'm not doing a thing on race.
Right.
You know what I mean? These guys are continuous
mate,
guys.
we need to get you for a knighthood then, honestly. It was only one time.
absolute
It's only one time he wanted to rob the phone store. It's alright, yeah.
Actually, what would you do? What would you if you say like you went down the same route? You're now homeless. You got no options in terms of family. What would you do?
Keeping it 100.
Yeah.
I would kill myself. I would just give up. I couldn't see myself even. I don't think I would have the strength to fight. I would just end it.
You just end it.
Yeah.
What a bitch, bro. Really?
Yeah.
That's what's gonna get you to end it? Come on, man. Come on. Nah, man. You serious?
Yeah.
Being homeless, I don't think should worry you to kill yourself. I can think of reasons why you
there's
could
less
kill yourself
things
for some other reason.
that bring me to that point. So for me, it's like that is like I have nothing. I don't even have family. I would see very little hope in trying to continue. You know.
You'd be on drugs then, wouldn't you?
God, I hope not.
Because if you're telling me you just rather kill yourself, that's tapping out. That's as good as taking a heroin shot into your arm and saying, "Yo, let Jesus take me," kind of thing. Like, you know what I mean?
Yeah, maybe I would be that guy. You know, coming in.
I ain't giving you shit if you come down here on the overground asking me for money, and you better not try to rob my phone.
What if it's just a one-time thing, Shelly?
Yeah, Shelly, what if it's just one time he wants to do it?
Well, one time I'll throw you into the tracks. And then you get your wish.
What about you, Rio?
What's the question?
Come on, mate.
I know, but I need more
He needs
time
more
to
time to
So,
think
yeah,
of the
I need more time to
perfect
think.
answer.
The perfect media trained
Yeah,
answer.
media trained
Oh
answer.
gosh, I
Yes.
can't take you guys. What do I do in that situation? So repeat the question to me.
So you've got all your options are exhausted. You have no family, no friends to give you money. You've been chucked out of the house. How does Real come back?
Come back.
Yeah, what do you do? What's your choice? Actually, what do you do? Don't say come back because that's already decided for what you're gonna do. But what? Because he said he'll kill himself. So
I'm not coming back.
what do you do? Yeah, you're not coming back.
Damn, man, that is a good question. What would I do in that circumstance?
Next station is Richmond, our final stop. Changing
I really don't know. I guess I would try to look at what government options would be available for me. Why are you looking at me like
No,
that?
that's actually a good idea. I don't know why I didn't think of that. Actually, that's a sensible idea. Yeah.
Because the thing is, there might be something in place that, like, I mean, it might be like a sort of, what's that film, Pursuit of Happiness? You know, where he has to queue up to get in with his son to that place, and the guy pushes in front of him, and he tries to he's like, I was here at 7 o'clock, and he just goes off at him, you know, that kind of place. Kind of doing that. I think by nature, but like quite naturally, you have to become a bit more resourceful, and just use what you have and what's free. I think I'd have to become very like in the know with like what's free, what's available, whatever, and firstly see the government scheme of like what can I do here, what are my options under the government for free in terms of accommodation, and then I would do whatever I can to jump in a famous person's TikTok and show some talent.
See, there's actually a way out.
Because you just never know.
Vice versa.
Yeah, because you just never know. Like, you know, like you know, like the homeless guy that has the radio voice and things like that, and it's like next thing you know, they're on like a big talk show, and it's like, so we once saw you on like TikTok, and then you sang that line, and then you know,
A couple of those homeless guys, by the way, are pretty talented, and they did have something to offer. Like genuinely, like a lot of them as well. They might come from educated backgrounds as well. They've got stuff that like they could use, like utilize. You know, they're qualified to do stuff, but they found themselves in a sticky situation. So that's actually a really good. That's a good part. In a way, like what you've said there, it demonstrates the reasons as to why homelessness shouldn't exist, which is the point I was pushing, was that they don't need to ask people to they don't need to beg on trains for money. They can do other things. You've just basically explained everything that they could have done.
Yes, but you realize it's not as easy as I made it sound. Do you know what I mean? Like, I'll just give you two examples, right? We don't know how strong that government scheme is, and it's going to be overcrowded as well. You can assume that, I'm pretty sure, quite confidently.
I mean, we don't even know if there is a government scheme.
Yeah, we don't know what it is. Yeah, we don't know. We don't know. The Pursuit of Happiness, we just are like, oh, that thing in Pursuit. So there must be something. But we don't know how solid it is. And number two, like, those, like, you're jumping on someone's TikTok or whatever, and you've like got something to show them, you know, like a voice or a singing voice or some sort of talent where you do impressions or something like that, or accents or something. What if you don't have that?
What if you're a builder?
Then work for free. Work for someone for free and with a team. Guarantee you they'll pay for your for sandwiches and coffee. They'll keep you going. You'll still be homeless, and eventually they'll be like, "You're pretty good. You know what? We'll take you on. Start paying you."
Yeah. No, I get what you're saying. I do think it's difficult though, because you also have to deal with this idea of trust, and there's probably like a lack of trust to put someone in a position of like, if they are homeless, and it's just like, okay, have you got your papers? Have you got your documents? Like, am I taking a risk on you? So you would be very lucky to find yourself in a position where you get like stable work that you might be doing for free, yes. But think about it, someone comes up to you and says, I'll work for free, just give me this. The automatic response might be a bit like suspicion, right?
Oh yeah, for sure.
So
but
it's not as easy as you make it sound.
There's plenty of dishwashers out there that are going into businesses where the business will happily take them on for like £2 an hour, like, you know what I mean? Some illegal that they'll take on.
Okay.
Yeah, they'll happily do it. So I'm sure if you were homeless, they'll probably do the same thing. Just say, yeah, just make yourself comfortable, and we'll pay you like £5 an hour.
Yeah.
But there is options. You don't have to kill yourself anymore. A documentary I saw, you know your favourite guy, Louis Theroux. The guy that you sound like.
According to you, yeah.
Do you sound like Louis Theroux?
I mean, according to Shelley, I do.
He definitely. Sometimes
he speaks
really
too fast for Louis Theroux.
He's not in Louis Theroux mode now.
I'm sorry.
Oh, so he's like a character of his.
I don't know. Can
you do Louis?
Shut up. Sorry. When is Louis Theroux? When have I been in Louis Theroux mode?
When you try to get really deep on something, that's.
He's pouting.
I'm sorry.
Shelly, why is it that you think like that?
He's not wrong. Okay.
Hopefully we'll see it by the end of this podcast.
Maybe we've seen it, you know.
Maybe. Say in the comments if you see what I see. So in Vegas, there are people that live under the bridge because they've lost all their money through gambling.
Live under where? Sorry.
Under a bridge.
Under a bridge.
Yeah, they've lost and living in tents under a bridge.
Yeah.
So they live like near the casinos, and they've lost all their money from casino gambling. That they've resorted to. This is how they spend their days. They would go in, and they would search the floor to see if there's any chips that someone had dropped. So any chips on the floor, they would pick up the chip, like whatever chip it is, and then they would gamble that chip and hopefully make their money back. Yeah. I was like, what an existence you have to, like, I was thinking, right, like, and these are like normal people. These people ain't even on drugs as well. These people just, they've lost mortgages, they've lost their house, like through gambling. I was like, oh my god, like, that's what I'm going like, that's what I can get when gambling goes like bad. Worse than cash converters bad. Like that's next level. I
feel like once you start taking out like loans and stuff, like you've run out of money, and now you're having to like borrow from a bank or borrow from friends and family and stuff like that. It starts to get really rough at that point. Like that's like start like selling your car, selling your possessions, like remortgaging the house. Like it gets that bad.
It's like drugs,
you know.
It's actually like people don't understand who don't gamble, but it is very much like drugs. The way in which the state in which it gets you. There's been times when I've lost money at casino, and I've been on the journey home, and I thought, fuck, I'm not even that dissimilar to the homeless guy that's sitting down asking for money, because the situation you think you become, like the person you think you become when you when you leave, it's just like you're fucked.
Yeah.
You're like, fuck, I'm fucked, like my prospects are fucked. I've lost that much money. But yeah, man.
How'd you get so into gambling?
I think it's a personality trait. Yeah, I think it's. I would like to take. I could tell you the whole story about what first sucked me in, but I think on some level it's there's some people that are it makes them tick.
Yeah.
Drugs don't really make me tick like that. Like, or alcohol. Like, if they said tomorrow, they announced tomorrow, they said no alcohol is banned. There's a prohibition on alcohol, drugs, everything, and if you are caught with any of this, you'll get beheaded or some shit. Yeah.
Do you think though?
I would be like, cool. All right, next. Like, but if they said gambling, I'd be like,
I'm moving to Vegas, baby.
With gambling, do you think like there's a point where it becomes like the money becomes like the high of a win, like the act of a win feels as important as the money that you make from that win? It's like the dopamine rush of like, oh shit, my numbers come up, or blackjack or something.
yeah. The beginning, there's a plan. There's always a
The
plan.
beginning
at
must be about
right?
money though, right? Because you're like, I can make another 20 quid or 100 quid or whatever.
So do you guys only do roulette, or do you do any like what could be considered skill-based games like poker?
I get bored by poker.
Really?
You know? I've been taught poker about 10 times probably in total. I always forget it. It doesn't make me tick. And I thought about doing it because I like the idea of gambling, and I thought, oh, it's competitive as well. It's a game,
Yeah.
but it doesn't make me tick at all.
What about,
I find
like,
the whole
blackjack?
prospect boring. Blackjack's also boring for me.
So it's only roulette for you.
I love it.
So you just like
No,
the
I don't
biggest,
love it. I think it's a fucking terrible devil game, but
but you love it.
I can't deny that it is an exhilarating game.
no, ask
please, yeah, of course.
Mind da Yap.
Mind da Yap.
Okay, so you brought up an interesting point. Do you think there's a difference between the type of gambling you do in a casino with these very purely risk-based games like roulette, and, for example, betting on sports?
Mind the gap between the train and the platform.
Is there a difference between the games in the casino and betting on sports?
Like, not obviously, there are different things, but I mean in terms of like more the mentality. Like, do you think you can still get like sucked into it?
I think it attracts a different type of person.
Yeah.
Personally, and it's weird. The funny thing with casino games is that people that are drawn to roulette, I think, is also a particular mindset, a particular type of person. So that person that wants something immediately and they can't be bothered to put the effort in as well. But then also they want that immediate gratification. And the thing with betting on games and on sports, there's something different going on there where you're relying on statistics. So you're really thinking that you're not just putting chance out there. You're a lot of the people that are doing it on the regs, they're looking at the odds and they put their belief in that.
Yeah.
I think they're getting something completely different from betting on football. Plus, they also have an interest in sport. I don't have an interest in sport. I have like zero interest in. I love playing sport. I can't be bothered to watch that shit. So I can't be bothered to follow like match scores over long periods of time. Fuck that. I've got a better thing to do, like throwing money on the wheel. But if you're drawn to sports, then you can have a bit of extra fun. I think that's also what it is. A lot of the people that are watching football, man, the ones that are big, the biggest ones that are shouting the most, the spectators, they don't do not a little bit of their own. They don't play football at all themselves.
I think that's usually the case with most sports, isn't it?
It's crazy, isn't it? There's the guys shouting the most shit at the players, talking about, oh, you're fucking shit, what they should have benched you, this and that. And you're like, some big fat geezer, like, who fucking ain't kicked a ball since he was like 5 years old, bro. Like,
oh my days, the best one is boxing for me.
You get
right?
boxing
Come on, man.
Like, oh, you throw the jab, throw the jab. Like, when have you ever thrown a jab?
yeah,
As you're downing your third pint, like, bro, chill with all that. Just watch and enjoy. Do you know what they went through in that training camp? So even if they're getting their ass kicked, they still went through a nightmare in the training camp. Like, show some respect. But
Yeah, show some respect.
to be fair, I've done it before because I want them to win so much. Like, there was a period where like AJ was like, he was on a bit of a winning streak, and then I think he lost to Ruiz, and I think it was in the rematch where I was like, he was kind of like boxing and moving in this one, And I was like, oh, it was like so tense at the time because he just could not lose this fight. If he lost that fight, his career could have potentially been over, you know, at least in the eyes of the public, because it would have been 2 back-to-back defeats. And I remember just being like, oh, just do that thing you do. Just that big one.
Give him the Oaxaca.
Why is he not doing the Oaxaca? Just do it, you know? Like, it's so different when you're in there. There's no just throw this. Like, no, there's so many things to consider. So it's easy to say it when you're sitting at home more relaxed and you haven't got some like 100-pound guy coming at you swinging bombs who's been training for 3 months to take your head off, by the way, you know. It's like, oh, didn't you see that opportunity to hit him with the left hook? No, I didn't. But thanks for letting me know.
But I think it's way worse when people do that with boxing because it's not really a game, is it?
Nah.
It's not like football. Football is a game, you know. You
don't play boxing.
Yeah, you don't play boxing.
To this day.
Boxing is a game.
Oh, good.
Yeah. No.
Explain.
It is, because I've done a bit of boxing training. I was supposed to be doing a white collar boxing fight myself.
Oh yeah.
And I didn't pull out because I was pussy or anything like that. It just so happened to coincide with some acting gig that I was supposed to go on. But annoyingly enough, I've always regretted because I've always just wanted. I should have just done the white collar boxing thing.
Could you not do it again?
I would. Well, once I've got. Currently, I've got a hand that's half of it's broken and shit. So it's still healing. And I'm suffering from some ear problems. So if I can get this shit held, hopefully 2025 I'll get involved in a white collar.
Yeah.
But with regards to that, like once I got involved in it, like I realised it is a lot of it. It feels like a game because you're like. You could say, oh, I'm going to go with aggression and I've got to beat up this person, but that only gets you so far, right? But if you start to be a bit more tactical, you give them a jab here, you jab there, you go through. You know what I mean? You reserve your energy. You think, oh, am I going to like there was in white collar there's only 3 rounds, right? But if you're doing like professional or semi-pro, you're doing like 8 rounds, right? So you have to think of it like a strategy, like a game. You know,
you're scoring points in a way.
You are scoring points.
You're scoring points in a way.
You literally are scoring
points. You're being judged. Yeah, you're being judged by 3 judges. Yeah.
It becomes a game, and it's like, you know, peekaboo, boom, like you know what I mean. You're trying to hit the other person in a game.
I definitely get what you're saying, but
yeah.
All right. I mean,
your face can get destroyed in the process, but it's a game all the same.
By definition, maybe, but when your head splits open, no. I mean, you know,
it's a Oaxaca when your head
splits open. It's a Oaxaca, man. It's a Oaxaca. So, like, maybe by definition, I guess so. But I wouldn't say it's a game. I would call it more competition. You know, like I think that's maybe just a slightly better phrase for it. You know, you're really trying to go at someone here. You are scoring points, yes, but you knock them out, you don't need to score another point, you know, like you don't have to go through all that.
You can say maybe amateur boxing is more of a game because it's very much more point based, isn't it?
It's points based and there's like the referee's really controlling the damage that gets taken there, whereas like opposed to like a world championship fight, like 12 round slugfest, Usyk Fury, like it's you know.
But most of the time with these things, they're not personal. That's another aspect of why it's a game.
And sometimes it's fake personal as well.
Yeah, a lot of the times it's fake personal. Come on, to sell the fight.
You know that hug after that? The hug after.
We just made 20 mil. That's what the hug is. It's like, you know what I mean? Every time
we did it. Yeah, all the extra pay-per-view buys.
Do you know what I mean?
I think it wasn't even boxing, it was MMA. The only one I can think of that clearly wasn't a game was Khabib versus Conor.
Oh yeah, that's the only one.
Where he jumps over, he wins, and then just jumps over and kills his whole team. Like that was no game.
No game, yeah.
Most of the time I think they do play a lot, like
they have to sell the pay-per-view.
Yeah.
They have to sell the pay-per-view. And like the more you trash talk and go for it, like Muhammad Ali did it, Floyd Mayweather did it, Adrian Broner did it. Yeah.
Trash talk is so corny, man.
I love it.
Really? You really buy into that shit, man?
No! You don't buy into it like I believe it. It's entertainment.
It's like wrestling then, isn't it?
Yeah.
A little bit, yeah. Because the thing is, they hug every single time, apart from Conor and Khabib. there's mostly hugs after this.
Yeah.
Like, God bless you, get home safe to your family, you know, that kind of thing. So it's like, you just take it with a pinch of salt, and sometimes, every so often, a funny comment will come out, and it's just jokes, you know. Like, and also it kind of, it's almost like a narrative. I just know about boxing, but it's almost like a narrative for fans, because like when you got two fighters in a build up to a fight, right? One of them is like, I'll never lose. I mean, it's impossible for me to. They're just going at the other guy, you know. And it's also like, all right, like, what are you gonna say if you lose this fight? You know, that's Muhammad Ali's tactic. You know, he would say all this stuff, so people are like, oh, this guy, I'm gonna spend my money and watch him. You know, or because I want to see him get beat. You know, it almost creates this narrative of like in boxing you'll get clowned. You know, you lose, you'll get clowned, and depending on how much trash talk you do before the fight, that's the level of clowning you're about to receive from the public, you know? So I feel like boxing fans are very critical, and like they'll be with you all the way in one, like when you're winning, but when you take a loss, it's like, oh, he's this, he's that, you know. So there's a lot of pride in boxing.
I feel like in boxing, for some reason, is real. Like there's the whole thing with the up.
No, there's a lot of the movement.
Okay,
just try, if you're gonna hold it, maybe just one hand and
just one hand.
Yeah.
Okay, my bad.
Yeah.
There's the whole thing with the O. Like you lose your O and like you're nothing. Like your whole previous career was irrelevant just because you had one loss. Like everyone, and that's kind of why I feel like boxing these days, up until His Excellency came through. Shouts out to His Excellency Turkey Alash. Please go through.
Sorry.
I don't want to call out.
Oh, that's alright.
oh no, that's right.
That's alright.
What are you doing anyway that you have time to go?
It's a Mind da Yap. Mind da Yap.
Doing a podcast.
A what?
A podcast.
I don't know about that.
Oh, it's
A podcast.
You're going to go on the internet?
Yeah.
And what are you going to talk about?
We've been talking about all sorts of
We've
things.
been talking about loads of things. We've been talking
Traveling
about
on the train, meeting people.
yeah, that's part of it actually. Like just like having people like yourself walk by and inquire about
So
stuff
what
like
sort of things you do?
that. Today we
What
spoke.
have you done?
today we talked about homelessness. And
No, that's a nice read.
It is.
Yeah.
That's your. Did you say that's your something that you?
I'm an expert on it.
Oh really?
On being a homeless person.
No way.
Oh really? You experienced it yourself?
I just tell you a story. If you want to say, you could say.
Yeah, you know what? Can I just pass the mic to you so that they can? Because we can hear it. We can hear it on the mic on the camera.
Because yeah, or
afterwards.
otherwise we won't hear.
No,
what,
I don't want you to put this out, but I'm telling you the story.
Okay.
Okay.
I've been homeless because where I was living was sold the property twice, and that's how I ended up being homeless, because the council find a way of getting out of housing people and say, oh, we haven't got anything, you wait, give you unsuitable, I have health conditions that I should priority and all that. And it's 5 years I've been homeless, over 5. And somebody contacted me from the council recently, because the council died now, letter. Every time I try, they don't want to know, and they give you what they want. I have health needs, I need to have, suitable. I'm claustrophobic, I have people to come and visit me and look at me. I can't, I have memory concentration, like brain fog, all those things, yeah. And they ignore it. And the people.
You say they ignore it. Who ignored it?
The people in the council. They're really unqualified, and they don't take health conditions seriously.
Yeah.
And people like me, I'm not the only one, very serious, I have health conditions, I just ignore. You don't have to be housed. You find your own accommodation. And I have to stay at people's place as a result.
Do you think this country does enough for homeless people at the moment?
It hasn't done enough for decades. More than 40%.
Do you feel like it's moving in the right direction, even like a little bit at all, or is it like just stagnant in terms of solutions?
This country is deteriorating in every way. Homelessness is one. The people there don't understand homelessness because they themselves are not homeless. They're not being qualified. They don't take people's health conditions seriously. You show them a letter from the doctor and they will ignore it. I've been in touch with the leader of the council, and she did. She had my letter, health, everything, and You haven't been entirely truthful. I know the health condition, the doctor wrote everything. Homeless, I'd have to stay wherever I could stay. I didn't have a home, I wasn't renting, but I had to stay at the people who allowed me to stay.
So, you never slept on the street or anything like that?
Yes.
Oh, you did?
Not slept, I'll stay awake.
Yeah, can I ask, it's just because we were speaking about this before, right? When you were homeless, you said 5 years. Was there more than that? Was there ever?
They actually say, oh, you've been homeless for 5 years, we take you off homeless. So the longer you're homeless, it should be like an illness that is more acute. You're more urgent.
Was there any sort of like temporary accommodation that was provided by?
Suitable, and they threw me out of it.
Threw you out? Why did they throw you out?
Because I said I cannot live. I must share. I had a flat, one bedroom flat. I need to have my own facilities, one level, and to have to go to a hostel with other level. That's not my style. One bedroom I've been living for a long time.
Yeah.
And I need to live in a one bedroom place, and they put me in a hostel. They could have put me in the private sector in a one bedroom, which they do for some people. But for me, it didn't happen. I want to go walk up to a high level. In front, you had a wall in front of the window. That kind of thing. I need to have great open space.
Yeah.
I mean, I suffer from cognitive impairment. Apart from that, I'm the sort of person who always look out. I get very claustrophobic and if I can't look out.